Hi, my name is Autumn, and this is my first ever YouTube video. I'm making it because we are in the process of PCSing from Okinawa, Japan to the United States. And I noticed there's not a lot of videos talking about PCSing from from the United States to Okinawa, Japan, and the whole process of that. Because there's a lot of things of the unknown that when you're coming from the States to Okinawa, Japan, like you might want to know. And I've lived here for 3 years and 1 month, so I feel like I can talk about it because I've been here a while and I'm about to leave, and I feel like, you know, with leaving and going to the States, it's also like there is the unknown because I've lived here for so long, and so I kind of just wanted to go over the things from when we first PCS'd here from the States. So the number one thing that I feel like I have to say is it's extremely hot here. It is, so my hometown is North Carolina. So I'm used to humidity. I'm used to hot. That's fine. I've also lived in 29 Palms, California, the desert. I've, lived in the dry heat. I've visited, Louisiana. I've been to the San Diego, California. There's just a whole bunch of places I've been to. But this is by far the hottest I've ever been to. I've even been to South Carolina, and that's pretty hot too. But this is the hottest. Granted, it is a tropical island, but it's hot. So be prepared for that. Be prepared to go outside and literally be drenched in sweat because you're not used to the heat. So it will take no time for you to start sweating because that's how hot it is. So normally it's like about 90 to 100% humidity. There is no 4 seasons, so don't expect to come here and have fall or winter because you won't at all. None. The coldest it gets is about 50 degrees is the coldest I've seen, and that was, I want to say, like last year it was 50 degrees. And we were freezing because we were in the heat for so long. We were like, what? 50 degrees? Oh my gosh, it's Arctic here. And then when it got to like 70 degrees, which is like our fall weather is 70 and our winter weather is around that too. So when it got that, you see people in like sweatshirts and like scarves, and they're just bundled up because it's so cold, because you're just so used to humidity and heat that when it gets 70 degrees, it's like, man, it's cold. So you will get used to it and you'll start feeling that way as well. So be prepared for that. Also, I just want to note that my husband is in the Marine Corps, so the experiences I share, or the information I relay, is from my perspective, or what we did when we came to the island. And my husband's Marine. So if your husband isn't a Marine, if he is in the Navy, if he's in the Coast Guard or the Air Force or the Army or whatever it is, it will be different probably for you. There might be some similarities, but it will probably be different. So just note that my husband's in the Marine Corps, and so I'll be talking about that. So before I go any further, I just wanted to say that. So let's get started, I guess. I wrote some things on a notebook because I didn't want to forget anything. And so yeah. And this is going to be an extremely long video, so I'm sorry, but if you like information, then this is the video for you. It's not going to be like a home tour or anything like that. It's literally me talking about some information about moving to Okinawa, Japan from the United States. So when you start moving here, you will be told that there is a limit on your house goods, home items. I'm gonna call them house goods. So for example, I think it's like, depends on your rank and how many dependents, but I'm pretty sure it's like 1,500 to, whatever. It's not a lot. you know, after you get your mattress in and your bed frame and a dresser, it adds up really quick. So I think it's like 1,500 or 2,000, 2,500. One of those three numbers was our allotted limit for weight. So we left, you know, quite a bit of things in the States and got rid of it and sold it. So just know you will have a weight limit coming here and going back. You will have a weight limit. Now, you can also take some of the items if you don't want to get rid of them, or, you know, you can't take with you, but you can have the Marine Corps have them pay for a storage unit for you. So that's also an option. Also, if you have a car, you can also do that. Put it in the storage unit. Make sure you take out all the fluids, because you're not going to be driving it for 3 years or more or less. So you need to make sure of that. So there's that. And when it comes, so your stuff gets packed up. It gets packed up in 2 units. Your first unit, that's an earthquake. Yep, that's an earthquake. That's the second one today. Our first one was a 5.4. And so that's an earthquake. That's funny. I'm on camera with an earthquake. It's still going. It's still going. Note, there are quite a bit of earthquakes here. There you are. So that's fun. I forgot what I was talking about. That was funny. Oh, coming to Japan. So when you come to Japan and your items get packed up, it comes in 2 different shipments. So you get packed up and you have like your necessities, which are like your pots, your pans, a bed, maybe a TV, your husband's uniform items that he doesn't need right away, but he still needs. And then you have your secondary, which is like all your non-necessity items, like, you know, a bookshelf, your books, stuff like that. And it takes a couple months to get here. Like, it's not like, oh, the next day, or, oh, when I get here and ready for a home, it comes. No, it doesn't. It will come in weeks, months. Like, ours came, I think, in 3 months. And then I had a friend hers came in 2 months. So it takes a while to get here. So just know. But with that, on a side note, is you also get loaner furniture. So if you come here and you don't have the item, you know, or you're in the house already and your items haven't come, sorry for the light, that's weird. You can get loaner furniture. So like our washing machine, our dryer, our refrigerator, our stove, they're all loaner furniture, because we weren't going to buy that stuff when we know we're not going to take it back with us. So they also, if you leave your stuff there, that's fine, because you get the loaner furniture. Granted, it's not the prettiest looking thing, but hey, it will do. It will do. So there's that. And then, so when you go, when you leave from the States to Japan, when you come here, there will be a spouse. Your significant other, whoever is in the military, is already talking to a spouse, or not a spouse, to a sponsor. You will get assigned a sponsor, and it's not like you come here and you're high and dry all by yourself. You have a sponsor. So when we got here, our sponsor picked us up from the airport, which is normal. Most sponsors will. They also will take you, depending on which time you get out of the flight, they come and take you to whatever store is open to get you, you know, some foods, because you're going to be hungry, some food, some snacks. Maybe they'll take you through a drive-through, and then they'll drop you off at your hotel and make sure everything is okay, that you're good to go, and then they'll probably see you the next morning to go ahead and get you a phone, to pretty much do those kind of necessities the next day. So your sponsor is there to help you. You will get a sponsor. Everybody gets a sponsor. Once again, talking about Marine Corps, I don't know if it's like that in any other military, but in the Marine Corps, you get a sponsor when you come to Okinawa, Japan. So our sponsor, I think like 3 days in or something like that, they took us to a newcomer's brief, which also, if you know you're going to that, just know that they make you take a test for driver's license for Okinawa, Japan. You might have a stateside driver's license, but that's completely different to the Okinawa, Japan driver's license you need to drive here. The SOFA status, you need to drive here with the driver's license and everything. So there are differences, obviously, in driving in Okinawa, Japan. We drive on the left side, states drive on the right side. They have like a triangle for their stop sign. You know, there are differences, but if you're worried about passing or failing before the test, they go over a couple of things for you that are on the test. And then also what they do is you can go online and just type in Okinawa, Japan driving test, and it should come up with some results for you to go over. But it's nothing difficult. I didn't know that there was a test and I passed, so just pay attention during it and you should be fine. But they give you your driver's license then and there that day. When after you finish the test, I think like within 30 minutes you get your driver's license. So just know that you'll get your driver's license before your military spouse, because the military spouse has to go through, once again, Marine, has to go through a chain of command and put in a driver package, and that takes a while. Like I think my husband, it took like three weeks to get his, so I had my license before he even had his. Now the bad thing about that is you can't get a car unless your husband, in my case my husband, had his driver's license. So it's like, what's the point? Why? So just know that you might have your license, but you can't buy a car until your husband has a license. Now the reason for that is everything will be in his name for car-wise. The car title will be in his name. So just know that you're not going to have the car title in your name. So that's why he has to have his driver's license. It's because they don't do that. And I'm not exactly sure why, but just know that was a bright light. Let's see. Sponsor. Oh, since we're already talking about cars, let's continue that since we're talking about like the driver's license and everything. So cars and insurance. The cars here are super small, cute, small, and the insurance is extremely cheap in a great way. Cars are cheap too, just saying. So our first car, I'm going to tell you what we did and what I tell our friends when they come here, is we got a car off of Buku for like $1,500 when we moved here. And that was like all of our cash left over. So we were like, yeah, that's perfect. So we got that. 3 months later, it didn't work. And fixing it cost more. It would have cost more than the actual car was worth. So we had to get a new car. And so we were looking around, we looked online, we looked, the PCS sites. There's also a lot of yard sale sites for Okinawa. We looked on those, but we came to the decision to go to a dealership. Now, not a dealership like Toyota or anything like that. We went to like BC Motors, just a small town used car dealership. And the good thing about BC Motors, and I tell all of our friends who come here, go to BC Motors, they're great, is you get a 2-year warranty. So if anything, like I think one of my cars, like in the first 5 months of using it, my AC crapped out because, once again, it's hot here, so you need AC. So I went and I was like, hey, my AC didn't work, and they fixed it for free. They fixed it that day. I had AC. I was like, oh, yes, AC. So just so you know, 2-year warranty, great. Have it, do it. You're protected, and it's only like $5,000. You can find a car for like $3,000 to $5,000 at BC Motors. My husband got a $5,000 car, and then I got a $4,500. So it's really cheap, easy. The insurance here, super cheap. For a year, I think it's like, for us, a year is like $500 for a year of insurance. What? Yes, thank you. So just to let you know, you won't break back doing insurance in Japan. It's actually extremely cheap, as well as their cars. So that is a positive. pay a year because you save money with paying a year, versus if you pay 6 months, you're paying a little bit extra, or if you're paying just for, you know, that 1 month or 2 months, you're still paying extra. Once you add it all up, the $500 is cheaper. Whatever your insurance is, but I'm telling you, it's cheap. It's cheap. So there's that. Also, when I moved here, everyone was talking about, like, when they were selling their car, they kept saying, like, oh, the JCI is due, you know, next month, or oh, the JCI is due in 2 years. And I'm like, what the hell is a JCI? So I found out a JCI is just the Japanese inspection. You know, every 2 years they do the Japanese inspection. Now, the Japanese inspection it is expensive. You need it. You have to have it. It's expensive. I think our car had nothing wrong with it, and our JCI cost almost $600, and that was cheap. And I was like, what? So just know, while you're having it in your car, save like $20 every month for your JCI when you get that inspection, because you have to have the inspection. You can't drive without the inspection. And then also every year there's the taxes for the car taxes. And most of the time you'll see it on the bases. They'll post like when they're coming and doing the car taxes. It's not that much money, but you have to do it and get the sticker and put it on your car and everything. So just know there's a couple, even though the cars are so cheap, there's a couple things that add up. So there's that. When you're driving in the car, obviously left side, right side, and everything. But when you're driving in the car and you see some 5-year-old walking by themselves and you're like, what? Why are you by yourself? It is because the crime rate here is so low. So just know, and don't freak out and stop and be like, are you okay? Because that's what I almost did. And my husband was like, fuck are you doing? No. This is how they are. They walk by themselves. They're fine. So you'll see like a 5-year-old walking with a 6-year-old and you're just like, where's the mama? Nope, that's not a thing. Like, parents, nah. The kids just walk by themselves. And they're young. They're real young. But just know, it's a low crime rate. I haven't heard of anything happening of like a kid being abducted or anything. Knock on wood. So just know, don't freak out. Don't stop, because I think that would make other people worry if you stop and try to talk to kids. So there's that. And then also the thing, my biggest pet peeve here is they I don't know if they don't believe in them. I don't know if they're just too lazy to put them in there, but you can see my dog. Anyways, when you're sitting and you're driving and you're stopped at a stoplight and you look ahead and you see these kids like rolling over the cars, the car seats, you see them jumping up and down, you see them run to one side to the next, and you're like, what the fuck? Why are you not in a car seat? Or at least buckled up. They don't do that. You'll see it everywhere here. They do not buckle their kids up. I don't know if they're just lazy, they don't enforce nothing, I don't know what it is, but don't get mad, because every time I do it, I'm just like, why? Why risk it? But they don't buckle them up. So just know that. Because I almost talked to this lady and my husband stopped me. He's been here before. My husband stopped me because I was like, we pulled in right beside her and I was about to be like, why isn't your cars or your kids in car seats? Why aren't they at least buckled? And he stopped me. It's like a thing here. So there's that. Also, the commissary prices, you need to go off base for your produce items, because the commissary prices, and I kid you not, when I got here, I really wanted a watermelon, so I was like, let's go to the commissary, I'm gonna get me a watermelon. So I go in there and I look at the watermelons, and I thought they had a misprint on prices. So I walked up to the lady and I was like, ma'am, half of a watermelon is $30. I kid you not, $30. And I was like, I think you misprinted this. And she was like, nope, it's $30. And I was like, for a half a watermelon? You can have your watermelon. So, like a bushel, and not even a bushel, like 5 or 6 asparaguses are $10.99. Some days you'll have them, or not some days. Sometimes you'll have them where it's a little cheaper, but not often. And they go really fast because everyone's like, what? It's cheap. I want it. I need it. Strawberries for like 7 of them is $10.99, or the cheapest I've ever seen strawberries were $8.99. So just know, commissary fresh produce is expensive. Do not pay for it. You will have to make 2 different trips, one to the commissary for American food, and then your second one would have to be to a farmer's market or to Aeon Mall, which they have some decent prices for produce, but you have to go to a Japanese off-base store to get fresh produce because it is ridiculously expensive. So just know that. My head's really shiny. Anyways, so is that better? Oh, it's still shiny. So then the next thing, I think, and the last thing I'm gonna talk about, oh, I still have one more, sorry. One of the last things is Amazon or Target or, any of those, ordering things online. I'm a plus size woman. You could tell by my face. I am a plus size woman. So if you are a plus size woman, just know you're not going to find anything here. Even at the PX or the Exchange, they only carry like name brand stuff. You might once a year find something that you like that's not like $150 or $80 for a top. So know that you have to order things online and things don't come right away. So it's not like Amazon 2-day Prime shipping. It's more like Okinawa 2-week shipping is as soon as you get it. Whoop whoop. So just know, if you order anything off of anywhere, I think the soonest I've ever seen it was a week, and that only happened once in my 3 years here. And I was like, what is this magic? A week? What? So just know, it takes at least 2 weeks to get here. So be prepared for that. You'll have to ship a lot of things out here that they don't have in the commissary, that they don't have in the Japanese stores. So yeah, make sure AP shipping to whatever your favorite store is, they have. So the ones I know that I've finally learned now that I'm leaving, Target ships out here AP, Torrid ships out here, Fabric.com, if you're a sewer or crafter, Fabric.com comes. Hobby Lobby comes out here. Obviously, some things on Amazon comes out here. So those are just a couple stores to keep in mind that I know comes out here. The last thing is recycling. Japanese people love recycling, and it's a great thing. Let's save the world, but they're real strict about it. So if you live off base like I do, you will have to do extra steps than most people on base. So if you live off base, like say for a spaghetti container, you'll have to take off the wrapper of the spaghetti, and then you have to wash the spaghetti container out, and then you can throw it in the specific glass container trash bag. And then if you have cardboard boxes, you break them down, put them in another trash bag. And then if you have, a soda can, you have to take the wrapper off, wash inside the soda can, then put it in a soda can bag. It's a big process. So just know, if you live on our off base, you have recycling, and recycling is like the biggest thing. This is a weird light, so sorry. Whatever. So I think that's about it. There's one other thing that I noticed I haven't talked about, was the BAH and housing. So with your BAH in the States, you're able to, for example, 1,500 is your allotted BAH, and you find a home for $1,000, you pocket that $500, and that's in the States. That's what happens normally. Well, when you come here to Okinawa, Japan, you don't get to choose if you live on or off base. You get told where you're gonna live on our off base, and it depends on how many people are on each base. And so we were here and we got told we had to live off base, which I'm fine with. And so your BAH, for example, is 1,500. You come here and you look for something for 1,000, so you can pocket that 500. That's not going to happen. You can't pocket it here. They're not going to give it to you here. Your BAH is 1,000. They give you 1,000, and that's what happens. So if you're allotted 1,500, find something for 1,500 because you're not going to pocket that money like you are in the States. So just remember that when you're house hunting, there is a difference between American housing, American Japanese housing versus Japanese traditional housing. So my friend has the Japanese traditional housing, and she has a fish oven. No oven for like cookies or nothing. She has a fish oven for a fish. That's it. That's her oven. And so then she has like a Japanese washer and dryer. And so just be prepared that it is different. Now, an American Japanese house, it's more Americanized than the Japanese traditional house. So the Americanized Japanese home, you know, has larger washing machines and dryers. They also have like regular size refrigerators, where in the Japanese traditional, they're a lot smaller. And so just know that the amenities are different for Japanese traditional versus Japanese American. You want to go for Japanese American. In mine, if you want the full authentic Okinawa Japan living, go for Japanese style. Well, that's all you. But we live in a Japanese American home, and I love it. I don't think I do any other way. But yeah, that's all the tips and tricks and like everything I feel like you would need to know before you come on island to Okinawa, Japan. Yeah, safe travels and everything. Thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed.